Destiny 2 Beyond Light is beyond boring. See what I did there? Yeah. Every single Destiny campaign has something interesting about it. Forsaken was interesting because it seemed like so many people liked it despite how flawed it really was. Shadowkeep had its blatant recycling of content and what set it up. Even Lightfall had the entire mess that it was that made it inherently interesting. Beyond Light has nothing. The story isn't interesting, the characters are boring, Europa is boring, the missions are boring, the only cool parts are the raid and the new Darkness subclass. This isn't an uncommon sentiment either. I saw tons of people in the comments of my Shadowkeep video talk about how boring and how bad Beyond Light was. So the question is, what makes Beyond Light so boring? Well, let's get into it. Hello everyone and welcome back to part 6 of my Destiny 2 campaign analysis series that covers all the campaigns from the Red War to the final shape. These videos do not touch on external lore, and this only focuses on the campaign, so the raid has no impact on the video. Any comment that uses lore to tell me why the video is bad will be completely disregarded. If they don't discuss it in the content, then I do not care. I also want to reiterate that this video is about the campaign only. I'm not trying to say that the rest of Beyond Light is bad. That's not my concern. What I care about is the campaign and the content within said campaign. Other things like the raid, the loot, changes to the game are not things I'm going to touch on. Alright, let's get into the video. We begin with this super awkward cutscene that almost is played like a trailer. I don't understand what the purpose of this is, but it feels really out of place and an odd choice to start this DLC. Anyway, we open with our favorite autistic alien Varix walking through a snowstorm holding a box on Europa heading towards an abandoned facility. This leads him to send out a distress signal about how we're all in danger because
darkness walks among us.
The Exo Stranger from Destiny 1, you know, the Exo woman who did nothing and spouted one of the worst fucking lines in any form of modern art we've ever seen.
I don't even have time to explain why I don't have time to explain.
No? Well yeah, that's her, and her stealth attempts almost failed because she's never heard of putting her fucking phone on vibrate. But before Varix can register someone is in the room with him, she escapes with the artifact Varix was holding onto. Shortly after, a group of Fallen descend onto the facility Varix is in with someone who seems to know he's here. Hey, sounds friendly. Moving on, our character has a voice.
That's another one. They all scan the same. Empty. Why did the darkness invite us here?
They tell us that these weird pyramid things all scan empty. You know, I'm gonna put this image on screen for every single time I hear or see the word darkness during this campaign, and I'll tally it up at the end. Spoiler, it's a lot! You're gonna hear the word darkness a fuck ton! This shit is gonna start sounding like a Kingdom Hearts game. Anyway, we hear Varix's distress call and we head to it. Ghost gives us the most subtle exposition ever about where Varix has been since Cade's death, since he kind of ran the Prison of Elders and then ran from it. A giant Fallen ship appears, we kill more Fallen, which Ghost has never seen on his records apparently, and we go inside this little igloo thing. After dropping some Clovis Bray hints and getting Varix's location, we head over towards him and kill even more Fallen. Varix gets slapped around and yelled at by the new big bad of the week, Aramis. Her and her Fallen dudes can use Stasis, the new darkness power that we'll be using on and off for the entire campaign. She freezes Varix a little bit, rips off his arm, and tells her goons to make an example of him by standing there with their spears pointed at him. Great stuff, guys. You're really showing him. So after slaughtering the Fallen and freeing Varix from the ice, a Fallen Brig, the new enemy unit, which is a reskin of the boss from Scourge of the Past, gets destroyed in about 5 seconds. Yeah, the difficulty is basically non-existent here, so don't be surprised when basically everything dies incredibly fast. It gets fixed with the campaigns like the Witch Queen later on, but this is an issue that still plagues these older campaigns. Regardless, once this is done, the mission is over and we get more exposition drops. So Aramis is the new Fallen Kell of Kells, the unifier of houses. Under House Salvation, she plans to bring the older, shattered houses together using the powers of stasis both as an incentive and as a threat. So now we gotta go and assault Aramis's fort, but not before going across the entire map on our Sparrow, which is a good time to talk about Europa as a destination. Europa is honestly one of the most boring destinations ever. I understand they're trying to go for a desolate snow moon, but that only works for a little bit. There are just not enough interesting spots in this place. Europa is split into 3 places: Cadmus Ridge, or the Snow Dunes, Asterian Abyss, or the Vex spot, and the Eventide Ruins, or the most interesting part of the whole map. The Snow Dunes works for what Bungie was going for, having an area that's just kind of snowy and and desolate is fine, but so is the Vex spot. It's literally just snowy dunes, but less dunes and more nothing. Literally, look at this huge flat area here. There's nothing done with this part. Imagine if there was a bit more to the Vex structures here, like an actual pyramidion here that would completely take over this entire area of the map. Almost like, you know, we should have this Vex shit that's over off to the side in the skybox and move it into the actual fucking location. It would give the snow and ice some variety. But by far, the most disappointing part of the map is the Eventide Ruins. Even though it's the most interesting part of the whole map, it could be way more interesting. Instead of jumping across buildings and discovering little hidden secrets of these abandoned skyscrapers, we crawl at their bases. Imagine how fucking sick it would be if we had public events fighting on top of these swaying buildings hundreds of feet above the ground, so far up the winds picking up the snow won't allow us to see the bottom. Being able to explore the homes of these exos who have been long dead. The extra world building on top of the Clovis Bray facility would be insane. Also, I wish we could explore Aramis's fort more. This area is awesome, and it's so unfortunate that we don't do anything here. Just add some public events or lost sectors. Give me a reason to come here, because aesthetically, I love it. It looks amazing, but nothing is done with it. Anyway, I think it's about time we get back to the story. As we arrive to Aramis's fort and do a whole lot of, and even more, a cutscene plays where Aramis uses stasis to destroy a servitor, which seems stupid, since I'm pretty sure servitors are used to generate fallen ether, an important substance needed for Fallen to survive, and she still has servitors in her army too, so this doesn't really make any sense if you want to make a message to the Fallen. It's like stomping on a Big Mac and protesting against McDonald's and then going back to get McNuggets the very next day. Would you look at that? She's just like a Bungie dev. We don't want to give you all the content right now, we need to drip feed it to you, but we all know why this is. So only a few of her goons can actually have these powers. But you know, why didn't Aramis just give her normal units stasis imbued guns or stasis grenades? You know why? It's because Bungie didn't think of that shit. I mean, hell, we didn't get stasis legendary guns until almost a year later. Anyway, a little guy rats us out and we have to make a run for it because the game won't let us deal any damage to these guys. I like how Ghost has to tell us that the Fallen wielding the darkness is bad, because clearly us, the audience, aren't incapable of understanding the severity of the situation at hand. Thank you for telling me, Bungie. Zovarix tells us that Europa was supposed to be a safe place for the Fallen who didn't want to be involved in the war and wanted to worship the Traveler. But Aramis, her army, and the pyramid ships are kind of fucking that all up. So we have to set up a comms network so that we can find their location and save them. This means we walk around and scan a bunch of these things so our ghost can fix them in some of the most boring gameplay I think I have ever seen out of this franchise. So after scanning a couple things, a pyramid thing appears. We follow down this path it tells us to follow, saying to the Traveler, we're a thankless soldier, but the darkness wants to give us a gift to help us take control. This is something you're going to notice not just here, but moving forward in Destiny as a continued story. This distrust in the light, and this idea that we're nothing more than a thoughtless soldier to the Traveler, never questioning it or its intentions. This very thought process will be reiterated but barely ever expanded upon for the entirety of this expansion. But who cares? We get a flashy new cutscene of characters fighting, which clearly was made for trailers and nothing else. The only interesting information we get is this giant structure crashing down on the planet, nothing else. So let me just skip all this here. All right, there we go. So yeah, the Exo woman is back.
I know. I owe you an explanation for all this.
Ha 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 ha! That's so funny! See what she did there? Fuck you. So apparently in Destiny 1, she was there to stop Darkness's arrival, but she didn't fucking do anything. She stood there and gave us some of the worst dialogue ever. Well, whatever, because darkness is here again! And she wields the darkness to fight against it where the light can't. Like beating fire with fire sort of thing. Well, anyway, our resilience in the pyramid, where we completely gave into the pyramid and fell for its fucking trap of tempting us away from the light, means that we can wield the darkness too. Alright. Okay, whatever. So we're given a pyramid splinter thing and we have to go to this darkness thing so that we can wield it, except not really because we have to play this entire fucking garbage campaign just to get access to this new power. Hey, remember the Taken King, where all you had to do was a few side missions and you had these new powers? Remember how despite using PvP maps, there was some super fucking cool and interesting content for each class that was unique and different? You would think Bungie would do that here again, but nope. It's the exact same path for every class that takes way longer because Bungie wants you to play the campaign to the end just to be able to get this new subclass when you actually just want to use it from the get-go. So we go across the map. Again, we can kill some Vex and get a taste of our new powers. be fair, the new powers are a ton of fun and are a lot different from the light powers that we have. Not only that, but the sound design is excellent. It's fucking great. Really, really fun stuff. So after a little bit of fun, we open a chest using stasis and get on our Sparrow to drive all the fucking way back to Varix, where he tells us that we need to get the attention of Aramis's greatest warrior by killing 35 fallen in a single life in the Eventide ruins. Again, every fucking time with this game, we finish the first mission and we have to go back to doing shitty, pointless quests over and over. I want to fucking quit. And in fact, I almost did the first time I played this campaign. I did not want to do this shit. So after doing that, we do a glorified strike and we finally reach Phylax. Because Destiny has been power crept to shit, the boss dies almost instantly, but is dragged a little bit further thanks to immunity. Awesome. I love this game. The fight isn't even unique either. At least Forsaken had some sort of build-up or a mechanic to make the fight interesting. Not here in Beyond Light. Nope. The gimmick is that they have stasis, that the platform disappears after you're done fighting on it. Wow, so creative. Not even make parts disappear as we fight on it. No, make it disappear after we're done fighting. This shit sucks. I killed Phylax. Moving on. After tuning our Splinter of Darkness again, don't worry, by the way, I'm still keeping count. I have this shit written down. So now we go to the Clovis Bray facility to have another stasis meltdown in the lobby of this place like a meth addict. Again, I want to reiterate that stasis is a ton of fun and I love using it, especially since punching stuff with the Titan is incredibly fun, but I want to use this power out and about now, not in these stupid confined areas anymore. Like, come on, Bungie. How the fuck did it take you guys 4 years to get this right? Now we have to track down Praxis, the tech guy of this alien Ocean 11's group. Varix tells us that we have to find out how he makes his weapons and kill him by collecting tracking devices by defeating Vex in the Asterian Abyss. You fucking kidding me? As mentioned before, this campaign is more grindy and a less fun version of Forsaken. But instead of our motivation to kill the big bad being, you know, murdering someone important, our motivation to kill Aramis is what she might do. We'll get more into Aramis later, but I have a lot to say about her. Not good things, by the way. After doing more pointless grinding, we head back to the Clovis Bray facility and fight Praxis. Why couldn't we have just had our moment with Stasis and gone after this fucker right after? Please, Bungie, this would have saved so much fucking time. Anyway, Praxis is actually one of the more fun fights overall. I've done the Empire hunts and found this one to be by far one of the most fun ones, if not the most fun one without a doubt. You have to shoot these shield floating things while also being bombarded by other enemies, and Praxis using stasis himself. The design of the boss is really cool and it's an overall decent fight. I'd say I liked it. Then we get a cutscene with Aramis and the rest of her goons where Atrax teases the raid, and so we're left with the fallen Kritis. And Aramis herself, who is weirdly over-animated. Like, her movements just seem off to me. That's the best I can explain it. Kritis tells Aramis to slow the fuck down and think about what's going on, but Aramis shrugs it off, and we get a glimpse that Aramis can't fully control the powers that she wields. Anyway, that's all the character building we need. Time to kill Kritis. I hope you enjoyed those few lines of dialogue, because that's the best you're gonna get, unfortunately. Oh yeah, editor's note, you fucking idiot. You don't fight Kritis until you do like a mission after the campaign and you fight her. You don't actually kill her in the campaign. You stupid fuck. Can't believe it took you this long to pick it up, you stupid piece of shit. Dumb motherfucker. Listen, fuckhead. You've crossed the goddamn motherfucking line. But before we can upgrade our Splinter again, Zavala tells us that we need to watch out about those darkness powers, and he gives us a slap on the wrist. Oh, and he also tells us that the Fallen are in the Cosmodrome, so we go there. We do another patrol quest, and then we do a lost sector to track down a nameless Fallen and obtain some information telling us that and tells us that Aramis is trying to summon the Vex on Europa. Oh wow, what's that? Aramis doing something noteworthy? Okay, I wonder if they're gonna go anywhere with this. So we do the Glassway strike, and it's okay, I guess. It was never my favorite, especially during Nightfalls. It doesn't really have any interesting mechanics or set pieces that blow me away. It's just kind of boring, like almost everything in this expansion.
You are a monster if you do this.
I'm no monster. What I do for the future of our people.
Open that portal and you kill them all.
Many will die, yes, but more shall live.
Again, we have something here. Aramis is willing to throw away the lives of so many so they might be able to keep fighting for another day. Look at that, Bungie, you're building up your villain finally! So we defeat the Vex and we get one of those nice ink blotch cutscenes giving us the backstory of the Fallen. Basically, the Traveler once blessed their world, but fled and caused an event known as the Whirlwind, sending the Fallen into their own version of the collapse. Basically, this entire time, the Fallen have been chasing the Traveler ever since it left, either to destroy it out of anger like Aramis, or take it back like so many other Fallen are currently trying to do throughout the game. It adds some much needed depth which should have been there in the first place, not 6 years later. But better late than never, I guess. The Stranger tells us about a world where Guardians give in to the darkness, which leads to destruction, and that she's seen it, but it's somehow different this time for some reason. Anyway, we use Stasis again, we talk to Varix again, and now we have to go save some Fallen. We only get to see the Fallen ship, but no actual, like, little Elixni Fallen dudes, like, running away from the war. Imagine how impactful it would be to actually see these little Elixni dudes fleeing from the fighting, and you have to escort them to safety. That would actually mean something. Even if they can't be killed, like they're invincible or something, you'll feel like a protector, a guardian. But hey, as with many things, this is unfortunately wasted potential. As we head over to the final mission, Aramis and Varix get into this shouting match, and Varix goes gorilla mode.
Aramis is wrong about Varix, about Elixni. Varix came to Europa for a second chance. For the right thing. That is strength, not weakness.
Oh, please, Varix. You only came here to hide, like a coward.
No! Releasing Vex put Elixni lives in danger. Many have already perished. Aramis, you are the real coward!
Silence! I've had enough of you, Varix. I will enjoy watching your skull shatter into pieces.
Some Xbox Live shit talk over these fucking comms, god damn.
Riot shield! I'm a pussy that use riot shield!
Oh, now I'm a what do you want me to use?
Faggot.
You tell me what you want me to use.
Also, side note, this guy literally just stood there and accepted death. Like, I know this was a bug, but I still thought it was kind of funny. So now we fight Aramis. The fight is nothing special. Her attacks are literally a Fallen captain's, but she has stasis powers now. Really cool stuff, guys. Upon getting her to half health, we get a cutscene where Aramis freezes us and our ghost. But when we really focus our power, we manage to break free and fight Aramis for one final time.
The only thing we have to break here is you.
Come then, pawn. Show me what freedom has given you.
Alright, listen, this shit is super cheesy, but I'm gonna be honest, I kinda like this moment. I don't know why, okay? Fuck off. So now we fight Aramis on this ridge, but now we have stasis powers. So yeah, that's it. That's the end of the campaign. I think now is a good time to talk about Aramis and why she sucks as a villain. When you look at some of the villains in Destiny, Aldrin, Gaul, Oryx, what do they all have in common? They all left a long-lasting impact on the world of Destiny. Oryx introduced the Taken, which are still around. This led to the Taken War, the corruption of several generals and armies, the corruption of Riven, the Techians, and the corruption of the Dreaming City. Gaul started the Red War, which led to the death of countless Guardians, almost the complete destruction of the last city, and caused the Traveler to awaken, which ultimately caused the events ending the Light and Darkness saga, including the final shape. Aldrin killed Cade 6, created the Scorn, and also led to the corruption of the Dreaming City. What has Aramis done? She failed to steal Outbreak Perfected. She brought the Vex to Europa. which she had kind of already done thanks to Clovis thousands of years before, I guess hundreds of years before this. She created House Salvation, which has done nothing and accomplished nothing. Even now, Aramis has fled, still never successfully completing a mission, and House Salvation has been relegated to slaves of the darkness, basically. It's sad. Again, our motivation to stop Aramis is that she might use stasis to destroy the Traveler. We don't even know if that's possible, or if she can even coordinate a successful attack against the last city. We don't see her expertise as a leader. We don't even really see her do anything besides letting the Vex loose. Maybe if the campaign was focused around Aramis as the loose cannon character who will do anything and everything to stop you, that would have been more interesting. It would have made her stand out a bit. Destiny doesn't really have an insane terrorist war criminal character yet, and Aramis could have been that, but instead we got a nothing villain we don't care about, and we don't even get to fucking kill in the end. You just love to see it, don't you? So anyway, the stranger tells us that in another world we give into darkness and abandon the light, which caused the second collapse, but this time is different. Despite completely giving in to temptation at each and every turn, letting the darkness talk to us, give us visions, and now give us incredibly powerful abilities. But this time it's different because light and dark swell within me, side by side. What if I never use my light powers again? Would they still both be flowing inside of me? Whatever, just give me fucking stasis already. I've been playing this garbage campaign forever just to get this shit. So a few questions. Why do we never see this Darkness Vanguard, I'll call it, ever again? I think this would have been a cool way to contrast the traditional Vanguard on their beliefs of light and dark. Maybe bring some politics into Destiny and introduce some much needed fleshing out of the last city. I don't know, maybe I'm the only one who genuinely thought this was going to go somewhere and even genuinely wants this. I have no idea. Also, where the fuck is Aramis now? Since Season of Defiance, I don't think we've heard anything from her. Maybe Bungie will milk her character just like they've been doing with Savathun. They can't just fucking kill a character anymore. We have to drag out their death and squeeze as much as we can out of them as possible. Anyway, that's my thoughts on Beyond Light. Boring expansion with boring missions, boring new characters, and a location that I find incredibly boring. Stasis is fun, the raid and the new Exo lore is wonderful, and the music, as always, is great, but it doesn't make up for everything else from a story perspective being so bad. You could almost remove Beyond Light and basically nothing changes. It's a filler expansion, and thank God what comes next is a major improvement. Anyway, thank you all so much for watching this video. This was made in a much faster pace than usual, thanks to the explosion of my channel from my Shadowkeep video, and I wanted to get this video out a bit sooner. And after this, I'm going to make something fun, not Destiny related, but after that, we'll get right into the Witch Queen. And for those who think I'm being too negative or too bitchy, you'll be more pleased with my Witch Queen critique. Anyway, thank you guys for getting me past 4,000 subscribers. Just today, we passed that milestone, which is insane. Like, that's fucking crazy. I can't thank you guys enough for passing this milestone. It really, really means so much to me. And thank you for all the comments and the support in my most recent video and all of my other videos. It really does mean a lot to me, and you know, it's cool to really start to grow as a creator. It's making me more confident and more motivated in making videos again. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching this video. Thank you again for all the support. It's fucking awesome to see people sticking around and watching my other Destiny videos. It genuinely means so fucking much. Well, that's all from me. I hope you guys have a wonderful day, night, week, month, and I'll talk to you all later. Bye.